situations that come up, your most uncomfortable moments and how you got through them?
There are probably a few. One of the I can share one of the first moments where I really had I guess some doubt was when I was getting ready to make the decision to when I was graduating from high school and was getting ready to make the decision to go to college. I really wanted to go to college. I thought I hadn't done the best, I would say, as a high school student. I was middle of the road, C plus, maybe 820 on the SAT at the time. And I always tell a story. I took the SAT the morning after prom, so I probably should have taken it again. Maybe would have done better. But I literally rolled into the SAT in my prom in my tux. So that probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, right? But
Right.
but I remember sitting in my counselor's my senior counselor's office, and we were talking about college options, and she was just kind of hitting me with all these reasons why I couldn't go to school. And this is a person that I trusted. I would imagine was an educator, and she knew what was best. And so when she was showing me this stuff about how much school cost and what type of classes that were going to be required of me, and then made the recommendation, and that to me, that college is probably not the best option for you. This is what you should do.
Yeah.
And I really I believe that, and I was like, okay, well, if this is all I can do, I don't really need to work hard anymore. I mean, I don't even the effort that I was given, I don't need to give that effort anymore, because I felt like I could do this without any real effort. So I was ready to just kind of pack it up and say, okay, I'll take this path. And I was fortunate. I had another school counselor who overheard that conversation, who pulled me into his office and said, "You can go to college. Let me show you how."
Yeah.
And I was just thankful to, I guess that's another one of those dots. I was thankful that he was that school counselor at that time, at that moment, and that gave me the confidence that I needed, and showed me how to get into school. And
How did he do that? What did he tell you to do? Like, how
Well,
did he?
he showed me. He's like, well, he taught me about financial aid, for example. Like, so here's his one counselor is telling me about how much college costs. Well, I have no idea there's this thing called financial aid and Pell grants and things of that nature, and student loans. And then he tells me about all of these things. I had no idea that I could apply for those things, and because I was a student of a low wealth family, that I had there was some things that I could benefit from that as a result of helping me pay to go to school.
Yeah. And then
So
you applied, you went through that, and how much did it cost you to go to Francis Marion?
so I started out at Gardner Webb for 1 year, and then I transferred to Francis Marion, which um, I did that. Yeah, I transferred to Francis Marion after 1 year, and then of course ended up going to the University of South Carolina for all my post undergraduate work. It was quite a cost.
Which one was the cost?
uh, Both Francis Marion
Francis
and
Marion, so you had to pay some money because I know
yeah, I paid to go to undergraduate and grad school. It wasn't until I started working on my PhD that I was at a point where I could pay out of pocket uh, to uh, to 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 finance my education. Didn't have to finance my PhD. I was good at that point.
interesting, because
But but one piece of advice that I had was that if I was going to offer anything, that I would offer my education.
yeah.
So I made that determination a long time ago, and I know for some that's they don't choose not to do that. But at that time, in that moment, back in 1995, I needed to have an education in order to be able to do the things that I needed to do for my family. So I was willing to finance that, and not finance other things like
Y
cars
yeah.
and those types of things. I was willing to sacrifice those things to pay for my education.